Hi, welcome to the channel. Today's video is titled Brian Breaks This Delusion on Why Men Won't Take. Oh, Brian breaks these girls' delusion on why men won't take them seriously. We're going to check this video together and I love your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Let's dive right in.
I'll get back to why it's important. I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that you guys all agree that there's plenty of men who think they're hot shit, but they're not. And perhaps they think they're deserving of this certain caliber of woman that they're not really deserving of. I'm sure you guys have seen this phenomenon of, oh man, she's like, why is this beautiful girl with this really mid guy, right? One, this is because women make awful appraisals of men's physical attractiveness and their own attractiveness. On a societal level, you're gassed up by society. In addition to this, you're gassed up by your peer group, all your friends. I could go to any single one of your Instagrams, pull up a photo, and there's your entire friend group or acquaintances or whoever the fuck is following you on social media. Slay queen, you're beautiful, you're 10 out of 10, you're the, oh my God, baddie. I could pull up any of your Instagrams, regardless of how mediocre or average any of you are, and your friends will tell you that you're beautiful. Look, I'm not, maybe you're great people and all, but like you guys are gassing each other up to the point where you guys are thinking you're tens, but you're not. Here's where the issue ends up. Women and men are very different, right? We're totally different. Now, here's I guess there's many ways where this totally is a catastrophe when it comes to the dating landscape. Here's the biggest. If I step to a Victoria's Secret model and I say, hi, I'm Brian, I'm making myself sexually available to you. Obviously, it wouldn't be as autistic as that. But like, you get the underlying point. I'm instantly getting rejected. Instantly getting rejected. So, sorry, I'm trying to kind of frame this as best as I can. Men get rejected on the front end. If we try to step to a girl who's outside of our league, we don't get a date. We don't get a conversation. We certainly don't get sex. The difference is when you women step to a man who's outside of your league, you get a date, you get sex, you don't get commitment. And so you get rejected on the back end. And so what ends up happening is because you get sexual access to men who will never give you commitment, they'll keep you around for, maybe they'll fuck you once, maybe they'll keep you around for, they could even string you along for a year. You got girls in situationships for years, and these guys don't want to give you commitment. And so what ends up happening is a couple things. One, you're dealing with men who are orders of magnitude more attractive than you. It could be looks, it could be status, it could be personality. And this is dangerous insofar as you think that's what you deserve. So a lot of women spend their 20s fucking and dating men that they can't lock down for a long-term relationship. They get into their 30s. The men who are actually on their level are still there. I want to give you a relationship, want to give you a relationship, want to give you a relationship. Okay. I can't get those men. I've finally come to the conclusion that I'll never be able to get those men. Time is ticking. I need to get married. I need to have kids. You settle for the guy who's actually on your level, but you still, because your own self-assessment of where you stand in the dating marketplace has been so warped by your sexual access to men who are outside of your league. Oh, look, if you can sleep with a guy who's a 9, that don't mean you're a 9. The guy you can get a long-term committed relationship from, the guy who will give you a ring, that's your league. Not the guys who you can fuck, not the NFL players, not the rap musicians. That's not your league. If you can get commitment from them, maybe it's your league. Your league is the men you can get long-term monogamous relationships and a ring from. Absent that, just because you can fuck an NFL player and he's a 10, doesn't mean you're a 10. But because you have access to these men, if you think you're a 10 or whatever, or you sleep with men who are hyper attractive, it's going to be, one, kind of damaging to your self-esteem to be constantly passed around by men and never being able to secure commitment from them. You're going to look at men who are actually on your level as below you. This is going to make for a terrible relationship.
Let let me just say this, because just a sad truth and sad reality of life. But again, in all assessment, what Brian is saying is the truth. I'm even trying to understand where this being a 10 is coming from, because lots of women always like say in their mind they are the most attractive, or they are a 10 or whatever. Like, do women also like, if everybody is a 10, who come war? Who be the war again? Again. Like, even us women, truly. That's why you see lots of women be like, oh, they can't get commitment from a particular guy, from the guy they like, and stuff and all that. But the thing is, many women prefer to go for the very popular guy, the very, like, how do you call it? Those, I'm trying to find the word, and I'm trying to find the Nigerian word for it. The happening guy. They want to go for the happening guy and stuff, but they've forgotten that it's not about that. Because again, every woman wants to get that same person that you're looking for. So why do you think? Why do you think? And every woman is saying they are fine. So why do you think your case will be different? That's the angle. And lots of women should understand the logic behind this. I don't think people will have a problem in the dating world, right?
We're gonna be like once you're used to a certain treatment or certain caliber of man, it's going to be very hard for you to reconcile, oh, now that I'm 30, I have to settle for like Mr. Average, even if you're an average woman. That's why it's important for y'all as women to be realistic about where you stand in the sexual and dating marketplace. Because again, so okay, here, I guess to wrap up, I'll say this. If I can have sex with a girl, there's a high probability, there's a high probability, a high confidence level, I can get that girl in a relationship if I can have sex with her. Can you guys say the same when it comes to the men that you can have sex with? Do you genuinely think that just by virtue of you being able to have sex with a man, you can get him into a relationship? I would imagine you're not quite as confident there.
Not at all.
Anybody? Here, how about this? Have you guys had the experience of you've been sleeping with a guy, you really like him, you want a relationship, and he's like, no, pump the brakes. I'm pretty confident if I can sleep with a girl, I can get her into a relationship instantly. I can get her into a relationship that night.
That's the same argument as just, pumping the brakes and not having sex with a guy first. That's the same argument that we were having. Yeah, because if you know, exactly your point, if you know that if a man can have sex and get into a relationship, but men say yes to anything theoretically, so then that's why the argument of like trying to like, regardless of your past, trying to like be like, no, wait, okay, because like what you just said, I want to test if he actually likes me, if he actually thinks I'm in his league, not just because I'm fucking an NFL player.
Well, I would tend to agree with you that the longer you make a man wait, the greater likelihood that it can be a filter for men that just want sex. Like, you will start to get, some men are willing to wait though. Like, dude, some dudes wait in the fucking shadows. They'll wait months. They'll be like, okay, waiting around, put her on the slow burner. I'll take her on a date once every 2 weeks. I'll get it eventually. Some dudes will do that. But there's also guys who are like, man, I ain't gonna go on 8 dates. I'm just trying to fuck. I'm not gonna go on 8 dates with
so
this
that
chick.
protects you from the argument that you're making. If we know that men can have sex and then not see us as their caliber, that's the protection against that.
I feel like we lingered on that the conversation an hour ago.
I'm not trying to bring it up again. I'm just saying that's like the answer. You're trying to say that, that's the answer.
No, but a woman could use that as a filter to like try to reduce the potential pool of men that are just trying to fuck her.
If you're just making a statement, I suppose I could agree with you.
But can we stick to the topic at hand?
I am. That was my answer to the topic at hand. However, sure, I guess like theoretically, I could agree with you.
Agree with me insofar as what? What are you agreeing with me on? Just so,
if you have theoretically, the argument is what you just said. If you have sex with a girl, you could probably get her into a relationship. But if But the inverse of that, then it's like if a girl has sex with a guy, that doesn't mean that she'll get into a relationship with him.
Yeah.
Okay, regardless, whatever.
Right, but I was not trying to use that in.
Are you just making a statement? What are you wanting? I'm giving like an answer to that.
You it was actually a question that you posed. I was explaining to you why we're talking about the looks and the rating thing.
Okay.
I'm not really inclined to go back to the conversation prior.
I wasn't. That was my answer, but okay. Then why are you still talking about it then?
You brought it up, lady.
But you're still talking about it. I said okay, and then you're saying it again, and then I said okay, and then you're saying it again, and then I said okay.
Okay, so you asked me a question. Why are you
Oh my god, you're saying it again. That's so funny.
I'm literally not. You asked me originally. You asked me originally the question of, why do you toxic men want to like have women rate themselves? It's like, it's actually almost in an effort to see if we can bring you back down to earth so that you can move in the dating marketplace, not with like ridiculous expectations and standards for men, so that you don't get burned because you're chasing after fucking Giga Chad, when the reality is most women are average. You're chasing after men who you're trying to date well above what your own looks, prospects, and personalities warrant.
Okay.
And you know what's even the truth is? For me, I always like to say this, like ask this. You as a woman, right? The way you are as you are, if you were to be a man, would you date yourself? If you can answer that part, then. Because again, yet lots of these women say, oh, they want this, they want every, in fact, they want who is the NBA or NFL player, the top, they want the top 1%. But I'm trying to understand, like, if you were the man that is on that level, would you date yourself? Or like this that you are now, like this that you are, like this, would you date yourself? That you're looking for somebody who is here, and you are, I'm trying to understand. Okay, let's even use this like for the Chris Brown, for those the Chris Browners, the people who love Chris Brown, who wanna date, not wanna date, wanna, Chris Brown. So if you were Chris Brown, would you want to, like, let's remove the money and the fame, because again, the reason I'm saying remove the money and the fame, we're talking about like in terms, lots of people are going for looks, lots of people are going for popularity and different skill, right? If you were him, if you were Chris Brown, would you date yourself? That's a question. And lots of women or lots of people would not have an answer to that, because again, they know the situation. Because again, you can lie to everything, or you can lie to every human being, but the worst thing you can do to yourself is lie to yourself. And obviously lots of people or lots of women live far from reality in terms of dating experience or dating world. They like, yeah, delulu is not the solulu. Don't think it, because you see lots of these fantasizing movies who most likely paint this unrealistic expectation, how Princess Cinderella meant Prince Charming. You think if every woman meet Prince Charming, Prince no go finish, even king no go dey, because every man cannot be king. There will be no king, because if every woman becomes a queen, who you want rule? Or if every man becomes a king, who wants to be the follower? Hmm? Real life, real world, real world. Sometimes this is how most men. I'm not saying for the vast majority. This is how most men can do behave. They um go with what they can have, build an empire from there, and make that their kingdom. That is what most men do. And I wish many women will realize that and make with what they can have and build their queendom from there. You would enjoy it instead of staying here and then you are looking for here. Stay here, match your level. Match your level. The both of you together can come together and build an empire. You see, lots of these men, these wealthy men that you see, most of them, they end up marrying a particular type of woman. Guess what? Because they marry the women that are the same year, or that are on the same level. We're talking about thinking twice, thinking wise, in the sense that this person can make me or help me improve my financial status or whatever, and the both of us together we can build an empire or a kingdom. That is what most men go for. That is what is in their mind. Which person or who am I going to meet that is going to make me, let's say, in terms of, like, let's say, increase here. Nobody wants to date a person or be in a relationship with somebody that will reduce their IQ. Everybody wants somebody who would help them upscale. Like, if I know this, I'm getting in a relationship with somebody. 2 plus 2 is 4. For some people, 2 plus 2 is 5, or 2 plus 2 is 10. But if you're dating 1 plus 1 and the 1 plus 1 is giving you 1, that is not the relationship for you, or that's not the right relationship for you. People should understand the dynamics to save you trouble.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I completely agree.
And this is why, I mean, this is evidenced by just the reality of hypergamy. It's evidenced by what's going on dating apps. 10% of men on dating apps are monopolizing all the women.
True.
That's why it's important. You want to stop dealing with fuckboys that are fucking 10 different chicks and dealing with you, or do you want to actually get into a relationship?
I would agree with that.
You want to get into a relationship? Let's have a real conversation about, like, okay, am I like chasing after men who are like emotionally unavailable, who are like the top tier of men, and like, yeah, I can get sex from them and it's like super cool, like they're really attractive and I'm really turned on and I'm really into like having sex with these men, but they're never going to give you a relationship.
Can I add something?
Sure.
I generally don't go for men that are more attractive than me.
Wait, let me read this. Say once again, men telling women how men think, and yet again, the women disagree. Most women live in delusion, like literal delusion, and they vote.
I'm going to give you a relationship.
Can I add something?
Sure.
I generally don't go for men that are more attractive than me.
I agree.
Same.
Yeah.
I think most women don't, to be honest. I think we go for other things, but like typically on the attractiveness scale, it's typically, like, not always, but typically the woman is more attractive. I don't think we care about looks as much as men do. We care about a lot of other things, but not looks as much as men do.
And I've had the opportunities to fuck celebrities that I've said no to. Like, I don't, like, that's not the end all be all. Like, I think women want connection from men. So I feel like the majority of guys that I've dated, like actually fell in love with and dated, have been way average.
Mm-hmm. I think that as someone, I guess I can say from my standpoint, from how I do realistically look, as I believe I am a 3.5, and I have had sexual relations with someone that was, I guess, what would you say, do they say out of your league? Like, would they look better than me?
I mean,
and that sort of thing.
Could just be more attractive.
And I think that even though they did that with me, that's not going to. I like to be in reality too. That's not going to inflate my ego and be like, oh wow, I must be absolutely gorgeous. Then I have nothing else to work on, because he would know. It's not like there's so much I have to work on within myself to be relationship material, and that and also looks wise too. And just because he's gonna do that with me doesn't make me a 10. I'm still going to again say that what I truly believe I am.
Yeah,
and
look, I don't think women are. You've had a sexual encounter with like a hyper attractive guy. It doesn't necessarily mean like you're forever beholden to like, it's gonna spell doom for all your other relationships. But like, let me ask it this way: have you guys ever like hooked up with a guy who was like had a bunch of roommates, and he actually like not just housemates, like had a roommate, and like you gotta like schedule that shit if you're trying to hook up with the dude, and it's like some girls even be like fucking the dude and the dude's in the room.
Yeah.
Or like you have a roommate. This happens in college all the time, at least here like locally, just because I don't know, rent's crazy. People have like living in triples, quads, in dorm rooms. People like are hooking up in front of their roommates. Kind of weird, but whatever. Have you guys had that experience? No, nobody. Okay. How about this? Have you ever like I'm trying to think of like the least cringe one. Have you ever had the experience of uh, like a guy who lived in like a really I know this isn't like the most important thing, like probably you care more about like the guy's character and like whatever, but you ever gone from like a dude who had his own place to like, and then you dated a dude who's like, I don't know, got like kind of shitty living situation? You're kind of like, damn, it's gonna be hard to like go back to like, shit, I gotta scamper through the hallways to get to the bathroom type thing, you know? It's hard to go move backwards. In that similar vein, I feel like once you've fucked with a certain type of dude, it's like hard to like go back. Once you've had a certain level of like either treatment or experience, it's hard to like, that's like your new threshold. That's your new standard.
Exactly.
I don't agree.
It's hard, but
Okay, well, I know
I guess
got-
you're
like
saying
you,
it's
you deal with like a A-lister, then you go slumming. I get it.
No,
But-
he wasn't an A-lister. He was a nobody. Anyway, I dated a guy who, before I broke up with my ex this past time, gave me money, $500 for no reason, just to go shopping. I still went back to my ex when he was sober, and I still held more value for him, even though I could have had it easy with the
let
guy
me
who
ask
sent
you,
me $500.
was the sex better with your ex? Did you even hook up with that guy?
I did.
Yeah? Was
Yeah.
the sex better with him?
No,
The new guy, the sex was better?
no, no.
Wait, so-
sex was better with my ex because we had a connection.
Yeah, okay. Is your ex taller?
No,
More physically attractive?
no.
So you
Well, I mean, look, there is something to like continuity, right? Like if you've been in a long, like you love this guy, right? Yeah, you love him. So I mean, there's that component too. But just to be clear, you were on a break. This guy gave you $500 to go shopping. He was more physically attractive, but you went back to your fentanyl addicted boyfriend. Is that your?
He was sober when I got back with him.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me.
He
I don't
wasn't.
know if like that's a great argument, but
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you're saying it's hard to go back. I went back. I'm telling you my
Because the
experience.
dick was good.
Yeah, I agree with that
The
too.
dick was good, but also, like, I had love for the person. I valued that person
Yeah.
when he was sober.
okay. All right.
I don't
Fair
think
enough.
it's as hard as you're painting it to be.
Yeah. I think that even if someone does have, say, like good sex with another person, you could, if you really have someone else that you love, there's a connection, there's so much more depth than just the sex. You can very well go back to.
Or the living
them.
situation or the
living
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know they talk true, give you safe. Now my problem be this: you guys are not saying the truth because again, you hear women will say, most women will say, settling, but men would not say that. Most men would date a woman wherever, but most women will call it settling. Why is that? Why is that? Again, this is on rare cases, right? For majority, because again, let's bring about you going back to your ex. It's a different scenario or a different case. Let's say it is not your ex, it is somebody else. Would you do that? Majority of the time, it will not work like that. But this is your ex. You already know him. You already know that. Okay, the both of you may have built this sense of trust or relatability or connection between each other. So like you still have some level of soft spot for him. If you were somebody else, would you do that, or would you go back, or would you want to date the person? Let's say it's a new person and the person is like open to some sort of addiction or whatever. Many women will not want to go back because guess what? They'll say, oh, their ex did this and they tried this with their ex. They're not going to do it. Right? It's different for different people. So don't make it like, oh, yeah, because you went back, you think at the end of the day, many women will call it settling. They say settle for less. That's what they'll call it. So let's just be truthful to ourselves because many ladies, how many ladies do you think will date a guy or be in a relationship with a guy that is sharing a room with another guy or three other guys in 2025? I know this video in particular, like it's something like last year, like we're talking about 2024. Right? In 2025, I highly doubt it. It's even if it's possible, it's gonna be rare. It's gonna be really, really rare, right? So again, people need to understand like there are levels to these things, especially in dating, and have realistic expectation. Nobody is saying that you should not, because everybody is looking for Prince Charming. Everybody's looking for Cinderella, Princess Cinderella. Everybody's looking for king. Everybody's looking for queen. If everybody gets prince, everybody get princess, everybody get king, everybody get queen, who remain? So the truth is, be with who you can, in the sense like this. You've already built a relationship with this person. Be with the person, build your kingdom or build your empire from there. Instead of, because lots of people don't stay present in their relationship, rather they pay attention to outside noise and stuff rather than listening or being in their relationship, which will save you a whole lot. Because by staying present in your relationship, you do a lot of things. You build your empire, you build your kingdom or your queendom, and the both of you together would become a strong, how do you call it, would have a strong union. There's a word that I want, that there is a word for it, but I'm trying to remember it, but I've forgotten. But the both of you become strong together. Yeah, that is your own kingdom or queendom, and excel from there. Everybody's relationship would not be the same, and everybody cannot have that top 1% guy or girl. That is okay. Let me know what you think. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. I just think that the dating world have this unrealistic expectation from both sides, and is making it harder for people to date or get in a relationship. Let me know what you think. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.